As we know, Consumers Energy working around the clock to get the lights back on for you as tens of thousands of Michiganders are still without power tonight. So we are checking in with Lauren Snyder. She's the Vice President of Customer Experience with Consumers. Lauren, we appreciate you coming on with us tonight.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, obviously very important to have your voice because as we've been reporting, EF1 tornado, 110 miles an hour. These are conditions that we haven't seen here in quite some time in West Michigan. So just curious, from your personal perspective, just what you've been seeing, how would you describe the destruction out there so far?
It is actually unbelievable what we experienced last night. I'm sure many of you listening were like me when the sirens were going off and my family was quickly hustling to get down to the basement to be safe. We haven't seen winds in a storm like this, as you mentioned earlier, in years. And so a lot of destruction out there that we are quickly working to get after and restore for our customers.
Yeah, and with that destruction usually comes power outages. I think I saw somewhere at the peak it was about 200,000 people in the state without power, homes and businesses. Looking at the map right now, that number's been reduced by about 20%. It's down to 161,000. Where would you say your crews are at in their efforts to restore that power so far?
We are all hands on deck. Our crews are out there. We've got over 3,000 people working across the state. And as you mentioned, Grand Rapids is one of our hardest hit areas. We have been working with our first responders. We are assessing damage, a lot of down power lines, which I want to just remind those listening, please stay away from down power lines to help get that back up and running, and they are very dangerous. So stay at least 25 feet away, dial 911 or call us. So I would just say 3,000 people on deck working around the clock. We've got crews coming in. We work with mutual assistance, which means crews from other states come in to help support us. And so we've got crews coming in from Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Alabama, Kentucky, Pennsylvania. They're on their way. We expect them on our system by noon tomorrow to help expedite the restoration process. I
was so impressed when I saw that, but not surprised because I know the crews in Michigan would do the exact same thing for those other states. That's kind of how it works here in the Midwest.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
And just on the note of you mentioning the down power lines and wanting people to be safe out there, there's a kind of a complicated situation going on, specifically reported by the Plainfield Township Fire Department, which is actually one of the hardest hit areas from this storm. They're reporting that many trees are tangled in power lines that have been found to still have power. So what does consumers typically do in a situation like that?
That makes things much more complicated and just as much dangerous. So again, I want to urge people to stay away, call 911, call us, and we will work quickly to get that taken care of.
What's kind of like the hardest hit area that you found in terms of just maybe even access to that place that has folks who have lost power?
Yeah, that's another interesting piece of this because it does require our crews to work a little bit more. It's more complicated situation to be able to get in there, address the situation, take care of the downed wire, take care of the trees and the damage around it, and then get everything restored. So it complicates the effort, if you will. But know that we're approaching it safely and we're approaching it as quickly as we possibly can because we, like our customers, we want power back on just as much as you do. So.
Final question for you, Lauren. Obviously, the thing that everyone wants to know is when is my power going to come back on? And it's a lot harder to give a full-on answer, but in the release that was just sent out that mentioned how many crews were helping in the area, it looked like the target goal was end of day Sunday.
That's right. That's right. And we are working just today alone. You mentioned it earlier. We've restored 35,000 customers. And once more help comes here by noon tomorrow, that's going to go even faster. So I expect those listening, you should start to see updates. Hopefully you've signed up for our alerts. Hopefully you're checking the outage map that's up on the screen right now. It's a really great tool and you'll start to see updates to your restoration time. But yeah, what we're saying is everyone in our service territory will be restored by end of day Sunday. But sooner, that is the goal, sooner.
All right, Lauren Snyder with Consumers Energy, thank you so much. All hands on deck. We appreciate everything you guys are doing out there, boots on the ground, to help get power restored to West Michigan and beyond.
Thanks so much.